Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about how to actually narrow down or target your advertising to certain ethnicities like white, black, African American, which I guess is black, but you get the general idea. Asians, doesn't matter what it is, who it is that you're trying to target. With this video, I'm going to show you a direct way to target them or exclude them if you need to. So for you woke police that are watching this video, say that I'm trying to encourage discrimination. Effectively, there's certain products that are made for certain ethnicities a lot of times that just doesn't work for anybody else. Ultimately, there are certain styles that certain ethnicities wear that what's the point of marketing it to somebody that has a 0% chance of buying it? This isn't about discrimination here. So, marketing is about finding the right people for the products that you sell who actually want to buy it. It's not about discriminating specifically. So, if you discriminate using these methods, that's on you, not me here. That disclaimer out of the way. I'm going to share with you how to specifically do this. There's a couple methods that you can use to do this. And with that, what are some potential with the method? Ultimately, if you're you have something that's supposed to be sold to African Americans and mainly only they buy it, given that they're 15% of the population or less in the US, well, you're throwing 3/4 to 4/5 of your budget out the window. Or should I say 5/6 of your budget out the window already. And so that means you could basically 5x your profit from your ads just by having these methods here. So you just got to know how to do it. And I'm going to share with you how to do it, given the ad platforms, given as woke as they are, they don't want to give you the direct ability to do it easily. Or should I say they don't anymore. Facebook had a way, but not anymore. This gets around it, so to say. So while Facebook had a way to do this recently that got shut down, for which the woke police shuts everything good down. It wasn't being used to discriminate, but oh my gosh, Facebook has a way to just target African Americans. Let's go after them. And then they had to remove it because of the woke crowd that formed around that whole issue, and now you can't do it anymore. But there are workarounds. So there's a way to target white, black, Hispanic, Asians on Facebook, Google, Bing, TikTok, LinkedIn that has nothing to do with the inherent default targeting options inside these accounts, which don't include ethnicity-based targeting. So the workaround, though, that I'm giving you here, 1, 2, 3, works just as good as if basically these ad networks let you do it directly on their own. With the drawback being that you have to actually pay some extra money just to get in the game, if you will. But it works effectively just as well. Or I won't even say better, because the ad networks don't actually know what ethnicity people are a lot of times. They can only guess, which the way that I'm telling you, we do know for sure what their ethnicity is if we're going to target them. So with that said, I will get into the method. You could but before I do so real quick, you could target certain ethnicities even if you don't have a product or service that's supposed to be made for a certain ethnicity, which is one application of this system, if you will. You can use it to find out which ethnicities are more profitable than others. You could do the exact same system, then and target all the ethnicities, but do it in separate campaigns and see how each one converts. You may find certain ethnicities buy at 1/3 of the rate that other ethnicities do, and you basically either bid 1/3 of the amount per click that you're willing to bid for the other ethnicities, or just eliminate it, which I don't recommend going that direction, because you're not going to make the maximum amount of profit that way. You make the most money in running ads online in your market, deciding what you can invest to market to somebody who's less profitable and more profitable based upon their historical average conversion rate, so that you know, if you find out white people convert at a third of the rate that Asians do, you bid a third as much, and now you'll get less traffic because you're bidding less for Asians at that point, or sorry, white people, or Caucasian people, to be politically correct. Ultimately, you'll still get some sales from Caucasian people that'll come in at the margin that you're still looking for. So certainly, if you think that your product will actually be sold to other ethnicities, go ahead and try those other ethnicities out. Find out what they convert at. Tell the ad networks that you're on what you're willing to bid for those people, which is less than the other ones that convert better. And or just, and do that by ethnicity. For each ethnicity, Caucasians, you know, Black, Hispanic, Asians, bid a different amount for each one so you can maximize the amount of profit you can make out of these ad platforms at the end of the day. That said, here's the main method that I have to target individual ethnicities, okay, on these platforms. Facebook, Google, Bing, TikTok, LinkedIn. Number one, you go to Nextmark mailing list, which you just Google that, you'll find out where it is. This is basically a shop or a platform where you can buy marketing lists, basically lists of people, email addresses, phone numbers that meet certain traits, requirements, that kind of thing. Mainly what I use it for, and what people use it for, is to find lists of customers that have bought from a competitor or an indirect competitor or what have you, so you can try to sell to them too. Because if you know that somebody buys real estate courses from your competitor, I want that competitor's customer list so I can offer them my course. And the reason why you could get access to those lists is because it's an extra revenue stream for these companies. These data broker companies, i.e. Nextmark mailing lists, they reach out to you and say, hey, are you willing to lease out your customer list to other people? We'll pay you an extra like $1 per name for letting us have rights to lease out your customer list. And then they sell it to you for 30 cents a name, but they could sell the list more than once. So they middleman, they broker the deal between you and your competitor itself. And maybe if you're selling real estate courses, but you know people that buy money-making courses in general would also have a high probability to buy from you, you could go get their customer list and then use it to market to. You can market to them because you can get their email list, and on each one of these platforms listed here, you can upload the email list there and target just those people if you want to. Or target those people if they also meet other targeting requirements on those platforms to narrow down your targeting. So as it comes to this, you can probably see where I'm going here. Nextmark has a list of African Americans. They don't just say, here's a list of African Americans though. It'll be like, list of African Americans who have DSL internet. Well, that basically serves the same purpose of allowing you to have a list of people that's just African American to market to. So you can get that list from them, purchase it / rent it. Then going into the second step, you upload said list to whatever network you want to advertise it at. Google, Facebook, Bing, TikTok, LinkedIn, they all let you upload an email list there. Then from there, of course, it's pretty simple. You just target that list, or like I said, you use it to filter other advertising that you have. Let's say, you, like going back to the clothing example, maybe you have a brand that certain ethnicities basically buy and other ones don't. You've made it specifically for that purpose. It's no discrimination here. And you sell hats that only Asian people like to wear. You could target people that are searching for hats on Google or Bing through Microsoft ads. Bing, Microsoft, same thing. And you say that you ultimately only want your ad to show up if they search for a hat if they're Asian, which then gives you the exact precise level targeting you want. Of course, on these other ad networks, it works the same way. On Facebook, if you want to target someone that's interested in hats and are Asian, you just use that email list to narrow your targeting, because you'll say, target anybody interested in hats and only if, though, they're Asian or on this email list, which they're not going to know it's Asians, but effectively that's what it is. And the way that this works, by the way, if you were curious how this actually is possible, when you upload your email list of the Asian people to Facebook, the email list, the emails that are on that list, they cross-compare that to the email addresses that people sign into Facebook to know where to identify the person on your list with the user on Facebook's site like that. And this is also why, by the way, Facebook asks you for backup emails, because then they could use the backup emails as well as the backup phone numbers to match with a customer list that you upload. So, and you could do this with emails or phone numbers in terms of uploading a list to have that customer match set up. And then that's how you can use it to narrow your targeting, of course. Of course, you could sometimes make money just by marketing to Asian people if you had an Asian clothing line. A lot of times, though, you're going to be able to make money, you're still going to have to target people with a certain interest and then making sure they're Asian on top of it. They're fashion enthusiasts and they're Asian, so that it's an Asian person that's into buying fashion, if you will. So, but as it comes to the third one here, if you're trying to narrow down your search advertising so that your keywords where someone types in red shoes and you only want your red shoes to show up for somebody that's Hispanic, then the way that you actually do that is you upload your list to Google or Microsoft/Bing, and then on the audience menu, you bid 900% higher for the people that are Hispanic, and then you drop your keyword bids 900% lower, essentially, or 10% of what the normal bid would be. And then effectively what that does is make sure your ad is only eligible to show if they're Hispanic. So there's no way to narrow it down if they're on that email list as well. You can just bid more if they're on that email list, which effectively, if you bid low enough on the keywords itself, it'll effectively only be able to show up when they're on that list. And you need manual bidding to do it, which I still recommend doing enhanced CPC bidding. But that's basically how you narrow search ads by ethnicity. And then all other places where you're running non-search ads / display ads, you just upload that email list and you target it directly, like I said, or you combine it with other audience, demographic or psychographic traits and stuff that are inherently on the ad platforms naturally, or that you pick up. Sometimes we'll take 2-3 lists off this Nextmark mailing list site and combine them and say to Google or Facebook, they must be on this list and this list and this list, otherwise we don't want to target them. The key to making lots of money with online advertising is narrowing down your advertising to a point where the only people you're marketing to are people that are a home run to market to. Which you could do this very easily with online advertising, because there's a million ways to target and narrow down your ads, including these email lists. And targeting by ethnicity to narrow down your targeting, that's just another way to narrow your targeting down. When you find that magic formula of 5 to 10 things, that if a person has these 5 or 10 things in combination, the 35 to 45, they're female, they're Asian, they like clothing, fashion clothing, they like to eat at fast food restaurants, and you line all those things up and you know that person almost exclusively is excited about the ad you show them, then you can make good money. And that's what the real challenge is for most people trying to make money online. Not just targeting people that are searching for hats on Google, but how else can we narrow these people down so that the people that see our ad that are looking for hats are going to want our offers specifically over the other offers, which makes it more likely to convert, which gives us a higher margin, or a margin high enough that it's acceptable to our business at the end of the day. So anyway, that's how to do the basic system for ethnicity targeting. Now there's another way, through using pragmatic ads. You could type in ethnicity pragmatic ad networks on Google and find different outside ad networks that are not Facebook, Google, Bing, TikTok, LinkedIn to run banner ads out there on, so that people that are Asian that are on any website basically you see a banner ad on, they'll be able to see your ad, and you'll know it's Asians. But I don't like that. That's my secondary option, because I like all the other ways to combine the targeting on these other ad networks. The pragmatic ad networks, what they usually do is say, you can get on, get in front of 5 million Asian people United States wide. That's great, but what if, going back to my concept I was explaining before, what if that's not good enough to narrow down my market enough to make money? Because the higher the click-through rate on your ads, the lower the cost per click you're going to pay. If your click-through rate isn't high enough, you're just not going to make enough money, because your cost per click is going to be so high that you don't have the proper margins anymore. So you have to narrow down your ads more than just knowing what their ethnicity is most of the time. So it can be easier and cheaper potentially than buying a list straight out, but it's probably better, more profitable to buy the list, import it into your traditional ad networks, and then use that to then narrow down your advertising on other different levels, on the different sites they show up to, or have been to, should I say, in the past, but also that they're on, which is another big component in all this. It's nice to say, I know if they have these 5 traits that they're going to be a home run prospect, but then also being able to say, I could make sure I only show up, going back to the fashion example, that when they're looking at other fashion ideas, that makes it another 5 times more likely they'll convert. And I want that availability to do that, whereas on the pragmatic ad networks, you don't get to pick what website the ad's on. So anyway, just some things to know about that, even though it is technically an option to do ethnicity-based targeting or multicultural-based targeting. Anyway, with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I have a ton of other content on this channel about other money-making strategies as it comes to running ads online, given I run a PPC agency and I manage dozens and dozens of ad accounts on an ongoing basis to give you the advice I'm giving you on this channel about how to make money. We also have to guarantee results for our clients. So it's all stuff that we know works and is properly tested and vetted that we're giving you here on this channel. So you should subscribe, because it's going to be the best advice you're going to find on YouTube about actually making money with ads. I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. If you like the channel, you'll love my blog as well. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, or PPC in general, or ads in general, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a final note, if you want somebody to just take over your ads that can absolutely get you results and only charge you when you get results, reach out to my firm. I'll look at your stuff and see if we can work together. If we can work together, I'll tell you what results I could get you before we even start, and what I could guarantee you in terms of results as well. If you have a good enough product or service, I'll charge you nothing for the service and take a percentage of your sales growth at your company and partner with your company, as I've done with several companies now that are doing wildly successful, which you could actually see and talk to. I'd love to be able to partner with you. So anyway, if you're interested in that type of opportunity, reach out to me, guaranteeppc.com. You can find me there. So we'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another fantastic strategy for you to make some more money. See you later.